Hello, and welcome to Fulkerson Winery presents Home Winemaking for the Beginner. We're going to go over all the equipment necessary as well as the procedure in making your first 5-gallon batch of homemade wine. Let's start in on the equipment that you're going to need.
When fermenting red grape varieties on the skins, it's very nice to have a 5-gallon or a 6-gallon food-grade plastic bucket. These are very easy to get into and easy to clean, and especially easy to work with when you're working with skins. If you're not fermenting on the skins, however, the best thing to get is 2 5-gallon glass carboys. And if you are fermenting on the skins, you do want at least one. The 5-gallon glass carboys are going to be used for your secondary and possibly primary fermentation. When buying a carboy, you do want to make sure that there's no dings or chips in the glass. Chips in the neck or elsewhere on the carboy could make it unsound for fermentation or possibly dangerous to handle. You don't want to cut yourself, so make sure you inspect before you buy. If you go to a store and buy a carboy, it is pretty common that they're going to inspect it, but just make sure and check it yourself as well. On top of a 5-gallon glass carboy, you're also going to want a 1-gallon jug. This jug is going to be used to hold any excess juice that you're going to have in the carboy. A lot of yeast will actually ferment very vigorously and could possibly foam over. So what you're going to want to do is fill this about 3 quarts full with juice from your 5-gallon or primary fermenter, and that's basically going to guarantee that you're not going to overflow and lose some of your precious wine. To keep the oxygen out of your wine, you're going to need a rubber stopper and some fermentation locks. Your 1-gallon jug takes a number 6 drilled stopper. For the 5-gallon glass carboys, I like to use the universal locks because they do cover a range of sizes. However, if you know the size of the neck of your 5-gallon carboy, you can get one to fit. Fermentation locks come in 3 typical styles. Glass locks are beautiful, however they break easily and can be very dangerous. The double bubble locks are very economical, however they're a little harder to clean. Economy locks are my lock of choice. The economy locks are my lock of choice mainly because they're really easy to pop apart and clean. Cleanliness really is important in home winemaking, so the economy lock definitely is my lock of choice. A siphon kit is definitely a necessity for the home winemaker. If you buy a kit, it usually comes with a rigid cane, a length of siphon tubing, and a nifty bottler for bottling. This is used for racking your wine as well as bottling. One of the more invaluable tools to the home winemaker is the test jar and the hydrometer. The hydrometer measures 3 different things: specific gravity, percent sugar by weight or balling, and then finally potential alcohol. Each scale around the hydrometer equates to the next one, so if you know one measurement, you know them all. In wine, we typically look for about 21.5% balling or sugar, which equates to about an 11.5 to 12% potential alcohol. Now that we've gone over all the equipment, there are a few chemicals that you're going to need to start off. The first and foremost being potassium metabisulfite. Potassium metabisulfite is a sterilizing agent, which is going to help you sterilize all of your equipment. Anything that touches your wine during the process, you want it to be 100% sterile. Bacterial infection can cause problems in your wine, so you want to minimize that as much as possible. To use metabisulfite, you're going to use 1 teaspoon per gallon of warm water, and then sterilize everything that's going to come in contact with your wine. The other things that you're going to need are pectic enzyme, which is an enzyme that's going to break down pectins. Pectins are the compounds in fruit which makes jams and jellies gel, and it can cause a pectic haze in your wine. So in order to minimize that, you definitely want to add some pectic enzyme when you start. The other things that you're going to need is, of course, a yeast packet and some yeast nutrient. Yeast nutrient is a good nitrogen source for your yeast, and it's going to basically guarantee that your yeast commence a full and happy fermentation.